Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. Israel's leaders have expressed their condolences to the United States over the death of the American ambassador to Libya, Chris Stevens, as well as 3 other embassy staff who were killed Tuesday night in an attack on the U.S. embassy in Libya. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel was standing with the American people in this time of mourning. Israel's President Shimon Peres sent a condolence letter to U.S. President Barack Obama and praised the devotion of the U.S. ambassador and his staff to promoting the values of freedom and democracy. As you may have seen on IBA News, the attack on the consulate in Libya, as well as riots in Egypt, were reportedly sparked by a movie trailer for an anti-Islam film that was released online, translated into Arabic. The film was written, directed, and produced by Sam Bassil, who claims to be a Jewish Israeli American. The Times of Israel, however, reports that Israeli officials said Wednesday they had no record of Israeli citizenship for Bassil. And earlier in the day, Israel's Foreign Ministry spokesman Yigal Palmor said of Bassil, anything he did or said has nothing to do whatsoever with Israel. He may claim what he wants. This was not done with or for or through Israel. Several Jewish groups here in the U.S. have expressed their sympathies and condemnation of the violence in Libya and Egypt. Director of the Religious Action Center for Reform Judaism, Rabbi David Saperstein, released a statement saying he was saddened and appalled to learn of the deaths of the U.S. ambassador and his staff members, calling the act of violence an affront to the shared values of humanity and tolerance at the core of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Saperstein also condemned the film trailer that spurred the incident, saying it was clearly crafted to provoke, to offend, and to evoke outrage. The denigration of religion and religious figures, Saperstein said, and the intentional framing of religious texts and tenets in this manner must likewise be condemned. B'nai B'rith International said the attack was unacceptable and should be condemned in the strongest possible words. The Anti-Defamation League also condemned the violence. ADL National Director Abe Foxman said whether this murderous attack was premeditated or in reaction to a profoundly offensive anti-Islam film, nothing justifies the violence and killings of an innocent U.S. diplomat and embassy personnel. Israel is denying claims that it tried to disrupt Jordan's civilian nuclear program. According to a report from the French news agency AFP, King Abdullah II of Jordan said that strong opposition was coming from Israel towards Jordan's nuclear energy bid, and that Israel was pressuring other countries not to comply with Jordan's efforts. Israeli government sources, however, dismissed Abdullah's claims, saying Israel never objected to Jordan's civilian nuclear program as long as it was to be supervised by the International Atomic Energy Agency and governed by the regulations of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which Jordan has signed. Rabbis and cantors in communities across the United States, representing all 4 major denominations, have committed to living for 1 week on a food budget of $31.50, the average allotment for individuals on SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. The undertaking is part of the 2012 Jewish Community Food Stamp Challenge, which kicked off last week and will run until Thanksgiving. The goal of the challenge is to educate communities about the realities of hunger and to raise a, quote, loud, collective Jewish voice about the crisis. Rabbi Leonard Gordon, co-chair of the challenge, representing the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism and also a member of the Jewish Council for Public Affairs Board, said that while hunger and food insecurity touch every community, no one talks about it. He said the food stamp challenge was a way to make this invisible problem visible. Gordon added it was also a way to show the Jewish community's deep commitment to this crisis. JCPA President Rabbi Steve Guttow, who is participating in the food stamp challenge for the 3rd time, said, "Each time I am reawakened to the true struggle faced each day by those who depend on SNAP to put food on the table." It is a lesson that is now being brought to communities across the country through this committed involvement of religious leaders. The 2012 Jewish Community Food Stamp Challenge is being led by a partnership of organizations spanning the religious spectrum, including the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, Mazon, a Jewish response to hunger, The Rabbinical Assembly, the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism, the Union for Reform Judaism, the Central Conference of American Rabbis, the Reconstructionist Rabbinical Association, Uri Litzedek, American Conference of Cantors, and the Cantors Assembly. And finally, today, a programming note. For the third consecutive year, Shalom TV will be televising Jewish High Holy Day services for those who are not able to attend services in person. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur programs will also be online for Jewish service members stationed around the world. Among the services carried live on Shalom TV and also available on demand are Torah readings and the call of the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, the Kol Nidrei prayer service on Yom Kippur Eve, the Yizkor memorial service on Yom Kippur, as well as commentaries and thoughts for the holidays. We, of course, hope you are able to get to a synagogue to observe the High Holy Days, but in the event you are not, we invite you to tune in. You can find all the information on shalomtv.com. And that's Shalom TV's News Update. I'm Teisha Bader.